A routine unloading task was underway at the rear of a transport truck carrying large steel pipes. The worker approached the tailgate expecting a standard release, unaware that the cargo inside had shifted during transit. One of the pipes had rolled forward and was now pressing directly against the gate, held in place only by the latch. The moment the latch was released, gravity and stored pressure did the rest. The pipe rolled forward without warning, striking the worker before there was time to react or step clear. The weight and momentum of round steel materials leave no margin for error once movement begins. Situations like this often come down to what cannot be seen at first glance. Cylindrical loads are especially prone to rolling and shifting during transport, even when they appear secured. A brief inspection from a safe angle, and standing clear of doors or gates under load, can prevent serious injuries. Inside a steel processing facility, heavy coils and industrial machinery dominated the workspace. The environment was loud, powerful, and unforgiving. A worker stood close to a massive steel coil during handling operations, positioned in an area where any sudden release of energy would travel directly toward them. Without warning, the steel coil failed. Whether due to internal stress, improper restraint, or material fracture, the stored energy released instantly. A large section of steel broke free and surged across the floor with immense force. The worker attempted to move clear, but the distance was too short and the reaction time too limited. The impact caused serious injury, illustrating the danger of standing within the path of potential movement. Heavy materials store enormous energy even when stationary. Maintaining exclusion zones and avoiding line-of-fire positions is critical in environments where failure happens without warning. In a commercial kitchen, the pace of work was steady and familiar. Stainless steel surfaces reflected the overhead lights as staff moved through their routines. Cooking equipment operated continuously, generating heat, grease, and risk beneath the surface of normal operations. A fire ignited beneath a grill, likely fueled by accumulated grease or lack of maintenance. At first, the flames were small and manageable. But hesitation and uncertainty quickly escalated the situation. Without proper training or immediate access to the right equipment, a critical mistake was made. Water was introduced to a grease fire, triggering an explosive flare-up that spread flames across nearby surfaces in seconds. What could have been contained early became a major incident. The kitchen was abandoned as the fire grew beyond control, highlighting how knowledge gaps and delayed responses can turn minor faults into major emergencies. Inside a busy warehouse, material handling operations were in full swing. Forklifts moved between aisles stacked high with goods, while workers navigated the space on foot. Precision and coordination were essential in such a confined environment. One forklift began traveling with its load raised, a clear departure from basic safety practices. Elevated loads reduced stability and visibility, increasing the risk to everyone nearby. Another worker stood dangerously close to the suspended weight. A single misstep, uneven flooring, or sudden stop could have caused the load to fall. The situation captured a moment where multiple safety barriers had already failed, leaving only chance to prevent serious injury. Maintaining lowered forks while in motion and keeping clear of suspended loads are simple rules, but ignoring them removes critical layers of protection. In an active work zone, a large tractor moved slowly forward as personnel walked nearby. One worker stepped into the path of the machine, unaware that they had entered a blind area directly in front of the vehicle. From the operator's position, visibility was limited. The size and design of heavy equipment create zones where people cannot be seen at close range. Within moments, the tractor made contact before nearby workers reacted and signaled for an emergency stop. Fortunately, the machine halted quickly, preventing a far worse outcome. Incidents like this underline the importance of strict separation between pedestrians and moving equipment, along with high visibility clothing and controlled access zones. Heavy machinery does not forgive blind spots. At a vehicle workshop, routine repair work was taking place beneath a car raised on a hydraulic lift. Welding operations were underway, producing sparks that scattered across the floor below. The hazard developed quietly. Flammable materials had not been cleared from the work area, allowing hot sparks to ignite them almost instantly. Flames spread upward, feeding on available fuel. Attempts to respond were delayed, and fire suppression equipment was not immediately effective. Within moments, the fire intensified, reaching the vehicle above and causing extensive damage. This incident highlights how quickly fire risks escalate when preparation is overlooked. Welding requires strict housekeeping and immediate access to extinguishing equipment to prevent rapid ignition. In a warehouse aisle, a forklift operator prepared to place a pallet high into storage racks. Another worker stood nearby at a safe distance, observing the operation. As the load was raised, instability became apparent. Whether due to uneven placement or lifting technique, the pallet shifted. Gravity took over, and the contents fell from height, striking the floor with force. No one was injured, but the material loss and risk were significant. Forklift operations demand precise control and load assessment, especially at elevation where mistakes multiply quickly. Distance and awareness prevented injury in this case, but the margin was thin. Late-night unloading operations were underway at a warehouse dock. A forklift removed pallets from a semi-trailer while the vehicle remained in position. A critical safety step had been missed. The trailer was not properly secured against movement. As the forklift withdrew a heavy load, the truck shifted unexpectedly. The incident unfolded in seconds, leaving little opportunity for correction. Securing vehicles before loading or unloading and maintaining clear communication between operators are essential controls in dock operations. In a fish processing facility, a conveyor system transported large volumes of product through the workspace. A worker monitored the operation briefly before stepping away. During that absence, the system malfunctioned. The conveyor accelerated unexpectedly, releasing fish across the floor at a rapid rate. Attempts to stop the machine were delayed when the control mechanism failed to respond. By the time the system was shut down, the area was overwhelmed. While no injuries occurred, the incident demonstrated how quickly unattended machinery can spiral out of control when safeguards fail. Continuous supervision and reliable emergency controls are critical in automated systems. In an industrial workshop, workers used an overhead crane to move a large diesel generator. The